The value of the study abroad is that you're seeing for yourself that the things in the book actually exist. You can see the Roman Forum. You can see, oh, the Vatican is just a wonderful thing, because you learn so much, you see so much more than is actually in the art history textbook. When our children were 3 and 5 years old, my architect husband thought it would be interesting to work for an English architect. So off we went to London, and we were there for 9 months, which whet my appetite for international travel. I always thought that someday I would like to be able to go back. What I discovered is that indeed there was something, they didn't call it study abroad, but I had students that wanted to study abroad. But there was not an office, a study abroad office. There wasn't anything formal. We planned what we wanted to do, and we all took intensive French together. And then we knew we wanted to go to London and Paris. And we had been reading mythology about dragons in the Provence. So then we thought we'd end up in the Provence. So the plans were all set. So I went to the man who was in charge of everything foreign at the university, von Teuber, and told him what I had hoped to do, because I needed his permission to give students credit, although my group of students would go credit or no credit. And he would not let me take them for credit because he thought I was misleading them and how inexpensively we could do it. Well, what he didn't know is that while we lived in London, my husband's wonderful English employer gave us a 3-week vacation, and we traveled on the continent for 3 weeks with a book called Europe on $5 a day. And the $5 covered housing, it covered food. I mean, it was wonderful. So I knew we could do it. So the students say, okay, let's go. We'll keep track of what we spend. And so we did. And in London, we stayed with our friends. So it was a trip that quite literally, we kept track of every single cent we spent for everything. And there were only 2 of us that came close to the $1,000. So that was my first exposure, and it was a wonderful trip. And we all learned a tremendous amount, and that was 40 years ago, and we're planning a reunion this summer. One of the things I would always tell the students before we would leave on a trip, I would always say, you have no idea what's going to happen. There are going to be some times so bad that you'll wonder why on earth you came. And there will be other times so magnificent you couldn't possibly anticipate them. And here Emily is saying it. I've seen things, felt feelings, and experienced events I never imagined, and which I could never have prepared myself for. All the reading in the world or the wildest imagination cannot replace the reality of strolling on a narrow, winding cobblestone street of a small French village. That really is it. That really is it. They can show you a picture of it, and they can tell you about it, but you have to be there. You have to be there.